Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am going to be doing chocolate cream cheese cake with a chocolate ganache on top. I haven't tried this recipe. Again, we're gonna do this together, but I did a poll on Facebook and this was like overwhelmingly voted for, so we are going to go ahead and do it. So let's get started. Alright, so the ingredients you are going to need is quite a bit. To start, you're going to need 2.5 cups of almond flour, 2¼ cups of sugar. This has a mixture of swerve and pure, just because I ran out of the swerve, so I mixed some pure with it. 1/2 cup of cocoa powder, or not cocoa powder, well I guess yeah it is cocoa powder. 3 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of pink Himalayan sea salt. You can also use kosher salt or table salt for this. 7 ounces of softened cream cheese. You're going to need 8 eggs, 2 ounces of melted chocolate. This is the baker's chocolate, has like no flavor, no sugar, nothing to it. It's just pure chocolate. 2 teaspoons of instant coffee. This is optional, you don't have to add this, it just enhances the flavor of the chocolate. And then you're going to need 8 tablespoons of softened unsalted butter. So let's go ahead and start with that. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is, I have a large bowl here. Move some of this out of the way. I also have my oven preheating to 325 degrees. And the recipe calls for 2 8-inch pans, but I don't have 2, so I'm going to just be using a loaf pan for this. So you're going to go ahead and start by mixing your unsalted butter, and your sugar together until it's light and fluffy. Okay, so now that that is mixed well together, I'm just going to go ahead and add in my softened cream cheese. My cream cheese is actually not as soft as I thought it was going to be, so definitely make sure that yours is way softer than mine. But it shouldn't be a problem. I'm just gonna mix this in real well. Okay, so now that your butter, sugar, and cream cheese mixture is nice and fluffy, you're going to take each of your 8 eggs and add them in one at a time, stirring during each incorporation. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so all of the eggs, cream cheese, sugar, and butter mixture is nicely combined here. Now you can go ahead and go back to your dry ingredients. You're going to take your almond flour and you're going to add it with your cocoa, your baking powder, your instant coffee, and your salt. And I am going to go ahead and just whisk these up real quick. And now you are going to go ahead and pour this into your wet ingredients and mix well. Okay, so the dry ingredients are mixed in. Before I add in my melted chocolate, I'm going to go ahead and spray my pan with some olive oil spray. And now this is where you want to take that melted chocolate and you're going to pour it in a stream. And as you're pouring this into your mixture, you're going to be mixing it in as well as you can. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so now that that all is all mixed together, I'm going to go ahead and start layering this into my pan. Now this is going to bake at 325 degrees for 70 to 90 minutes. It's going to take a little bit, but it's definitely going to be worth it. It already tastes and smells so good.
A few moments later.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I had a lot more batter than I thought. That I didn't feel comfortable putting all into this loaf pan. As you see, it's already pretty full. So I'm going to go ahead and make some cupcakes with this too. So I'm going to put this loaf pan in the oven for the 70 to 90 minutes and keep an eye on it. And I'm just going to check these every few minutes to see how well these do and how long these take. So these would be a great option. As soon as I find out how much time these will take, I'll come back and let you guys know. But while this is baking, we are also going to be making the chocolate ganache to go on top of this, so stay tuned. You're going to need half a cup of heavy whipping cream, 3 tablespoons of confectioner's sugar, this is the Swerve brand, 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, and you're going to need a 1/4 cup of butter. This actually needs to be melted butter, but I wanted to wait, that way my chocolate can melt into it. So I'm going to microwave this for 30 seconds until it's nicely melted, and then I'm going to go ahead and stir in my chocolate and my sugar to this. Okay, so I have my butter here that is nicely melted and hot. I'm going to go ahead and pour my chocolate into this. And because my butter is nice and hot, it should help this chocolate melt pretty fast. So I'll go ahead and give that a stir. And you're just gonna stir this until you notice that your chocolate isn't really melting much more, which is totally fine, because then you can just put this in the microwave for a couple more seconds. I'll probably start with 15 seconds at first, just to warm it up a little bit more, and then it should all melt back. That's looking pretty good. So I do still have a couple of small chunks of chocolate in here, so I'm going to go ahead and take this back to my microwave it for another 15 seconds, and then we'll come back and keep stirring. Okay, so that extra 15 seconds was just perfect. Should be able to just go ahead and melt this chocolate down. And you guys can see how lovely this chocolate already looks. It's nice and shiny. Okay, perfect. So that is all melted down. I'm going to go ahead and pour in my sugar. and mix that up, which is going to thicken this. And now I'm going to add my heavy cream. Oh yeah, that ganache looks amazing. I've never made keto ganache before, but this looks exactly like regular ganache, so I am excited to try. And the great part is it's so easy to do too. And now you're just going to add in those 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. Alright, that looks really, really good. So if you let this sit, this is going to harden up and it's going to be like a nice thicker consistency. But I actually have my loaf still baking in the oven, but because I did make those cupcakes, I think I'm just going to go ahead and try it now because these cupcakes look really, really good. They just look like nice and soft chocolate cupcakes. These baked for about 15 minutes and I put a knife in and they were completely done. They smell really great. So let's go ahead and take some of this chocolate ganache and we're going to drizzle some of it on top, and we are going to go ahead and take a little bit of a quick taste test here. So let me get a fork. I'm just going to take my whisk and just gently drizzle it on this cupcake. So you guys can see what the cupcake looks like real quick. Alright, let's go ahead and taste this. I imagine this is what the loaf is going to taste like. These are just smaller portions. It's really moist. And it looks super chocolatey. So let's find out. Oh my gosh. That is so dang good. That is probably one of the best and most successful cake recipes I have yet figured out, or like have come across or found, and it be successful. Like, I have to show you guys the texture of this cake. I mean, look. It looks like actual cake. It is light and fluffy and airy. And that to me looks like a glutinous cake. Like, if this had gluten all over in it, that's what that would look like to me. So yummy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Alright guys, well I think that is it for that video. I will go ahead and make a shot once my actual loaf is done baking in the oven. But that still has about 30 more minutes to bake. And I highly suggest doing cupcakes because they're quick and easy to go. And you don't have to wait, you know, like an hour plus for them to bake. And these were so good. So if you guys make this recipe, please comment down below, like and subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Thank you. Bye. Alright guys, I just wanted to come back and show you guys what the loaf that I baked ended up looking like. This actually baked quite a long time, and then the edges of the top started to burn a little bit, but the inside is still so good and nice and moist. So I would highly recommend, if you're going to bake this, to do it in smaller portions. The cupcakes came out amazing. It's just, this took a long time because it is so thick. So definitely do this in smaller portions. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching.